basis which then you can decide, okay, what is the kind of platform that you need? Is it just an environment like this where you're going to have peer network? Is this, is there some very specific aspect in which there needs to be much more deep diving or some level of, whether you call it mentoring, access, whether access to people, access to capital, whatever it is. So it's a 1 year process. So we are not looking at it as a 6 week thing, but it will take a year to identify what are the things which are required to have a robust kind of an ecosystem for enabling women entrepreneurs to build successful businesses, which will make them fundable, fundworthy, and then basis that, I mean, lot many more programs can be churned out.
In fact, it was when Ajay called me on and asked me to moderate this panel, I thought I should do some bit of homework, and I came across some data in Australia, especially. Women start businesses twice at the rate that men do. It was quite interesting. Some of them have been around and they're much larger than the organizations run by men in Australia. But somehow the problem or the biggest hurdle they face is raising funds. And I would like Wolfgang to give your perspective. How is it in Germany? When you talk about the startup ecosystem, how active a role do women play in it? And what has the government done, especially when you're being led by a very, engaging lady like Angela Merkel? How has entrepreneurship grown there?
Well, I'm afraid for Germany, I should say the situation is not a lot different to India. So, of course, there is it's a big issue in politics, women entrepreneur, because everybody is aware that women can be very good entrepreneurs. But then there is, of course, again, the issue of family, children, and so on. So, in some of the incubators, because in Germany the family system is not working as in India, and mostly you live in towns where your relatives do not live, so you need a very strong support system for taking care of children, making family life easier. So this is one aspect which is supported. On the other side, with respect to financing, for example, I think women are facing the same issues as entrepreneurs. There is, as in India, there is much more belief in men being the able entrepreneurs.
What would it take to actually change that perspective?
It changes. It needs government programs. It awareness, it needs examples. So German politics really tries to showcase successful women, and having a chancellor as a woman does not really mean that financing for women entrepreneurs is better. Yeah. So, but all it's a common effort. It's a common effort by large companies. That's necessary by banks and also by government to support, especially in systems like in accelerators to support women, especially with financing. And it's the angel networks, the venture capital firms are not comparable to United States. So we still in Germany have also a lot of work to do there.
In that way, how would you say that Google or the cloud platform would play a larger role in then enhancing this whole environment and the ecosystem? Of course, you've got a flurry of products out there that women can actually use, or perhaps entrepreneurs can use. But when it comes to actually looking out for role models, is it easy to tap into the same network? Perhaps you come to Google platform and then maybe you want help with something else and you direct them there?
Yeah, so see, a lot of stuff in the startup world is do it yourself, right? So I think one thing for all women is you got to learn to do it yourself. So if technology is daunting, I think you've got to get the fear out and just take it on yourself to at least figure out some stuff, right? So that dependence isn't there on others. So I think for us at Google, the philosophy is the tools are out there. Everything we develop, we open source out there. Okay? There's enough stuff on YouTube, there's enough stuff around for you to pick up the content. So I think the point that we were talking over here was, I think we should start a lot more early in the cycle to reach out to young girls, right? So it's not only in your engineering. Why not 10th standard? Why not 11th? Why not tell them entrepreneurship is not a dream, it's something everybody can achieve. Because by the time you finish your graduation, there's yet too much pressure, right? The pressure to take a job, the pressure to do things regular people or normal people would do. So I think the other part is that you got to be this learner, right? So what they say, right? You have a permanent license to drive. So you have a permanent license to learn. So I think that learning shouldn't stop. And as entrepreneurs, the point is to reskill yourself, because market changes, right? So you've got to pick up skills, and that's where the ideas come from. So I think from our perspective at Google, the idea is that the tools are there. It's out learned there. Yeah.
Okay, before I yes.
Yeah, so I mean, just taking this question off chance, but I was just looking at a report which Deloitte had published few months back, and it had some statistics in it. So if you look at the number of women who were, so since you're talking of tech-enabled ventures run by women, in the mid 80s of the total IT workforce globally, about 37% were women. Today it is less than 25%. I mean, even though the global population has increased, still the number of women who are in core tech kind of roles has significantly gone down. And uh, just adding to what Anuja mentioned, so across studies done in the UK, in US, the number of girls who are in high school and who have undertaken classes of coding is less than 40% of the number of, or the percentage of boys of same age have coded. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, that is where it starts. I mean, it's not at a later stage where you're talking of undergrad, postgrad programs and getting into job stream, but the aptitude at that level where you're kind of attuned to a kind of an environment, whether it is coding, technology, whatever it is, wherein your interest or your aptitude towards a certain area is developed, basis which you can potentially get into mainstream jobs in that role, or you can be a tech entrepreneur.
I just wanted to know if we can open the floor for questions, for a few questions.
I had just one
Sure,
point.
sure.
I think so. Maybe we can solve Wolfman's problem of not having too many women entrepreneurs by giving these people some opportunities, and outsourcing begins at home. But some important points before we open up for floor. What I've learned from some of the lessons is, while you got have an amazing idea, practice your sales pitch. See, people make a big mistake. It's all about selling. So if you have four women, trying to do something, leave the crazy part to say maybe 2-3 women, and leave that one woman to practice your sales pitch. What's your sales story? How do you do prospecting? How do you do qualify a lead? Do ensure that don't just sit technology sessions, sit sales sessions, learn how to sell. See, it's always about selling. For example, I met four men. They gave me some ideas, and at my level, you're always thinking what's going on. I've lost 3 years and meeting the best and the smartest. So your span of attention is really less. I can imagine for her, really small span of attention like me. So when your sales pitch, it's just ensure that what are the one or two things you tell him or her which he takes back. Out of the 4 cards I have taken, I have one gentleman hit me so hard because he talked about cloud. He said, "Hey, I can virtualize my Wi-Fi," and it just stuck in my head. Because I'm thinking of 10,000 retail stores. I'm paying X money to Cisco. Okay, this is a guy, and he just gave me some numbers. He just said, "Hey, my solution is $800." And before I could say something, he shook my hand and he left. Have some attitude. Remember, if you're smart, if you're great, don't be so desperate because we can measure out. Leave your idea out there, make a sales pitch, thank the gentleman, and leave. Sometimes we come back after those people. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, that's what I thought.
Sure. Any questions out here? Yeah. So, I'm just going to hand out my mic to you. I was hoping it will go to the lady first. Sorry. No, go ahead, please. Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Vishal Sangvi, and this is my second visit in a zone startup. And it's really very good work here and environment here. So I do my voice over IP internet telephone business in the last 15 years. So my question about women entrepreneurship, and this is a very first round of our country for transformation for the woman, and I want that we require at least what's the NASCOM vision to create a successful 10,000 startups. We believe that we also require at least 10,000 fund servant actually. So something we want to solve the fund, and there are already we have all ecosystems where so how my question is how we can connect those kind of ecosystem where people do the charity, something in a professional venture capitalist. They have their own expectation actually, and sometimes you go for all the measures. We cannot get more successful startup. So I want that be currently, like a zone startup. There are so many incubator centers are there where only some of the professionalized people are only connected. How we can connect many ecosystems that are available where they are ready to help the societies and help our country to promote transformation. So that's, and how government has taken initiative about if somebody starts the incubator center, they get some tax benefits also. And this kind of things maybe possible. So how we can this leverage
Okay.
idea about this
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you there. Uh, Dr. Gupta, if you could answer that. I think he's primarily trying to understand, since there's so many incubators, accelerators, and many more pockets of ecosystems out there. How do you collaborate and create a one larger ecosystem, perhaps? And what is the government going to be doing? Because I believe the DST has gone out and backed many incubators altogether.
Yeah, actually, now is the time we are reaching the critical mass of 100, that we will start or actually will motivate incubators to collaborate with each other, because in tier 2 or tier 3 kind of city, they may not be knowing which is the best biotech incubator in the country. And like that kind of, we need to leverage the power of collaboration, which is yet to be explored. And now is the right time, and we will be working out strategies and new programs, how that each and every startup who is very passionate get all sort of benefits through our most of our initiatives, few of the measures which are being announced. So we will be working, and we will take the lead from your question, and will be soon be addressing those issues. And within an incubator, if you are admitted, there are host of exemptions already in place, and there are a couple of other exemptions which also will be announced.
The lady here who wanted to ask a question, yes.
Hi, my question is for Naiyya, for you. Being a woman entrepreneur, you said you moved back to India. I'm kind of in the same boat. So, if you have to give advice to someone who's coming back to India to do a startup or her own business and is a woman, what do you think are the 2 or 3 most important things he or she should keep in mind?
So you're already doing one of the most important things, which is to be here and network with the right people. So congratulations. So I think that's one of the big learnings I got. In the beginning, I just spent a couple of months just understanding what was happening, understanding the changing context. When I left for Boston, there was nothing called apps. I mean, I came back and it was an app economy, right? So there are the tidal waves that are completely restructuring the ecosystem, and I think it's best to be at meetings like this, meet the right people, meet the right entrepreneurs to get yourself acquainted with what's happening and really feel the pulse of the Indian consumer today. you know, I cold called at least about 500 people when I was starting out. And these were people who've since become really amazing mentors for me. So just put yourself out there, just be brave, write to people who you think will add value, and listen with sort of your heart skin on, but listen to them. So I think those are the two things I would do if I were you. That's what I did. Okay. Thank you.
Just like to add, like apart from government, to make the startup ecosystem more happening and enabling, we need to have a shared responsibility. Only government could only provide a initial or catalytic be a facilitator. We need like Google support from Google, Vodafone, drone startups, media, our like icons like Naiyya and international collaborations we have, and society at large. We have to, we all have to work collectively to make it a vibrant and happening place and serve our long-term aspiration to be a startup.
I'll just add the question which was directed to Naiyya. So Naiyya may not remember this. The first time I met her was at a Mumbai Angels conference. So Naiyya worked with McKinsey. She is a Harvard graduate, and she was emceeing a Mumbai Angels event. Okay, so put yourself out there to build your network. I mean, that's about it. I mean, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just put yourself out there and meet people. I mean, because it's all about building that huge network of people.
I just want to say something. Hi, my name is Chandni Jaffrey and I'm the CEO of Mumbai Angels. Naiyya, we've not met, but this is a proof to the fact that I'm sitting here and we are here to celebrate your success and everybody here. And I think it's fantastic what you're doing, and all the entrepreneurs out here, if you need any further proof, I don't think there is any further proof required than the fact of what is happening here, the fact that investors are now sitting. So he said that there is a sales pitch required by entrepreneurs. I think it's reverse, because see, I'm standing here making a pitch to all of you to come up with great ideas and come to us and we will fund you.
Hi, good evening, and it's really a very good platform. I I had a specific question. Like, the kind of business we do is a search engine we have, which is specifically focused to BFSI segment, the financial segment, and we have software which can be on on kind of cloud platform, is what our clients are expecting. My question here is exactly what you said, Ajay. There's two things. One, we need help, someone guiding us. I mean, we have a tech team, that is not a problem, but how Google can enable us better here. I mean, I hear that okay, we can be enabled, and I hear that okay, we can get good mentoring. On the other side, development of business further, how we can take it to a level where because the customers here are now so used to freebies that how to make it free and how to make it remunerative at the same time. So this is a kind of support that we are looking at. Do you think it's feasible from this point?
Okay. So, so coming to one, congrats to have a customer asking for cloud. Like, that's a great victory, right? Because we have huge discussions about why cloud, why not cloud, and stuff like that. So, see, we have a program where we assist startups with the deployment piece, right? So there is an SLA-based system where you will have an architect working on the solution, helping you with the initial versioning. So we have that in place. The question and my job is to evangelize that so that we can ensure that people come on the platform and utilize the services. So I can take this offline with you of what we offer, but every information is out there. You just have to Google it. Yeah.
I think that's
I knew this was coming. Yeah. The moment you said search engine, good question.
So if you're in the BFSI sector, so we as an accelerator zone startups, keeping the empower program aside, we also work with a lot of corporates and typically with the banking and financial service industry. So I have a colleague, Ankur. Is Ankur around? Yeah, there he is. He just raised his hand. So probably me or Ankur, one of us can meet with you, and we can just understand what your platform is, and we can potentially try and help you out.
thank you.
No, just as long as you are looking for the other person, I unfortunately have to leave, and maybe I can suggest you have a challenge on some issues like improving now it will take me a long time to get to the airport. I'm sorry for leaving. Yeah.
I run a company where we prepare research reports for the international market. We've been self-funding, and now since we're growing, we're looking for basically I've been looking for bank funding, which is zero incoming because of everyone wants yeah they want some sort of security to fund. I am very wary of giving away capital. Are there options out there? I'm not able to understand and grasp them fully. Besides giving away capital and bank funding, what is there another route?
Yeah. Join any incubator funded by us. That is the easiest route, because we do provide seed support to many of our incubators, and it is one of the, if you are actually able to pass through the local level selection committee, you will get seed funding, which may range from 25 lakhs now being enhanced to 1 crore.
I could get the information on your website.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not true, ma'am. I've approached banks and banks. I've been trying to approach them by the mudra loans, and they're refusing to lend.
No, I'll just
To lend.
I'll just add to what Harshita mentioned. So just last week I was with the State Bank of India folks. They already have programs in place to support very specifically women entrepreneurs. It could be any kind of business. It doesn't matter whether it's a technology-enabled business, it's a small, medium enterprise, it's a consulting outfit. As long as you have a track record where you have few customers and you have customers in the pipeline, uh, they are willing to offer loans at much lower rates than what they would otherwise offer. So if you want, I can connect you with the gentleman I met with, pretty much senior. So yeah, happy to connect. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So I mean, I just have an observation I need to ask about. There has been a lot of growing focus on science and tech. I mean, when you talk startups, you only think science and tech. So, and even in terms of from academic research to the funding to the policies. So I just wanted to know what your thoughts are on what could be the cause of it and cause of this large shift in focus. And so even at Davos this year at the World Economic Forum, they said that any startup or business that does not have a social impact innovation aspect to it will not probably run in the next 5 years. So how are we aiming to combat that? Is my question.
See, at least from a telco perspective, um, where you see BlackBerry and Apple was pretty smart to go after the consumer because that's volume. You have a much larger pie to conquer. BlackBerry was all focused on enterprise, and by the time they could recover, it was dead. So at least when I look from a telco perspective, if I have a solution which can target to out of the 200 million Vodafone subscribers in India and 500 Vodafone subscribers across 23 countries. If you have a proposition which can go hit the consumer, I'll be much more empowered to invest in you. I'm not saying enterprise is not big, or I'm not saying that the social element is not big. But ideally, when I put on an investor hat, bootstrapping or seeding in, I see more returns coming out of it. So it's a very return-driven, no matter how much we say. So just keep a watch on that.
It's more of innovation which we are looking at, not science and technology, because most of the startups are backed up by technology. The technology becomes an enabler. So it may not be, but like what kind of problem are you addressing? What is the innovation component in that takes front seat?
I think the other point is it's all about impact, right? So we've gone through that. So look at it as a pyramid, right? So the bottom of the pyramid was the e-commerce and stuff like that, right? Now as you move up the pyramid, right, you actually need superior technology for that impact. And you see that a lot of times driven by institutions where the this kind of work is going on. A lot of IP-based stuff, patents are coming from universities. So the trend is obviously, and even this year, there's been a lot of talk that, fintech, healthcare, then there's IoT, right? So these are the sectors where there's a lot of interest, primarily because they are hardcore tech-driven. So this is there to stay, primarily because of the impact. And what else? Social leads to impact, right? That's how the connection would be. I'd just like to add one thing. The focus on technology, I guess, is because people are reaching out to a larger volume of people through technology, which is why more and more VCs, companies, the government is obsessed as to how are you going to manipulate technology to spread your word out there, which is why the obsession with technology. And if you're using it at this point in time, or if you can find a solution where you can actually make technology a larger part of your company, and the goal that you're trying to achieve, perhaps you'll get there faster.
It is actually completely changing the perception of the customer. Like how we make use of Ola, and like they're game changers in that. Technology is a critical element.
The SME chamber, not a question, more of an answer to the lady who wasn't having a lot of fun with her bank. There are definitely collateral-free loans available. Open offer, not just to you, but to anybody here. If your bank is not being friendly to you, reach out to me. I'll make sure that you get a response.
Okay, and with that, I think we'll have to wrap this panel discussion. And it was great to be here. Thank you very much, all of you, to share your experience and, of course, talk to this wonderful audience out there. Hand it over to Ajay, and let's go ahead with the launch of empoWer.